Hello to my EHPS children. I thought today I would do some cooking with you because what better thing to do when you're stuck at home with not much else to do apart from your home learning or whatever else you're doing. Do you like my apron? One of the parents at my last school when I was head of Crondall School made it for me, so I thought it was appropriate to wear today. So what I've done is I've gone to Chef Neil in our kitchen and I've said, Neil, do you have any spare vegetables that I could have? Because I think I might make a vegetable soup. Because even though the weather is beautiful during the day at the moment, true spring weather, it's actually quite chilly at night time. And I don't know what vegetables and things you've been able to get, but it seems like lots of vegetables are coming back into the supermarkets, which is great. So what better thing to do than to make a nutritious vegetable soup? Now, before all you fussy pots start saying, I don't like certain vegetables, this is a perfect recipe because it all gets blended up together. So you won't taste one individual vegetable. And I think you'll have a lot of fun chopping, peeling, and putting it together because anything you make always tastes great. So I'll show you what I've got. I wonder if you know what that is. I know some of you are probably already shouting out saying, I know what it is, but some of you others might have never seen one of those before, particularly in the starting state. It grows in the ground. This is where all the roots come out. It's part of the onion family. It's a leek, okay? So we're not going to use all of the leek. We're just going to use probably that part of it. You can use these bits. You can chop them up and put them in as well. But for this recipe, I'm just going to use that part. What you can do is chop these up and saute them in some butter and make them all crispy and sprinkle it over the top of the soup if you wish to. Okay, so that's a leek. What you need to do with the leek is cut it here and cut it down the middle and then rinse it under the tap to make sure there's no dirt in it before you start doing anything with it. Wonder what this is. It's got its lovely leaves on it. Okay, this, for those of you who don't know, is celery. So celery is a really sweet tasting, lovely vegetable. And you can use the leaves as well in this recipe, so we're not wasting anything, okay? So I'm going to wash that. I'm going to show you how to chop that in a minute. Anyone know what that is? Courgette. It's called a zucchini in Australia and America, but it's a courgette, okay? Obviously, you all know what they are, I hope. Carrots, okay? So we're going to peel them, another good thing for you to be doing to practice your fine motor skills. Carrots, I've got some potatoes, we're going to peel those. They thicken up the soup really nicely as well. And you can either use a tin of tomatoes or use some fresh tomatoes. I've got some nice fresh tomatoes from our chef Neil this morning that he was happy to give me. I've also got some frozen peas. You can use fresh, all right? And I've got some lovely fresh thyme. That's a herb, so that's thyme. It's got the most amazing smell, but you can use any herbs. You can even use dried herbs if you've got some dried herbs, or you can use no herbs. You can add or take out any of these vegetables. You can use onion, I'm using leek, you can use both. You can put garlic in if you like garlic. You can add broccoli, you can add cauliflower, you can add whatever you want. But I'm just keeping it fairly simple this morning, and I'm going to show you what else we need. Of course, a pot to cook it in. I've got a stock cube. You can use a chicken stock cube or a vegetable stock cube or just water. You don't have to have a stock cube. And I'm using one of these blitzers when I'm ready to blitz it up. But you might have one of those blenders, or you might just have a potato masher and you can just mash it up. It doesn't really matter, but we'll get onto that bit later on. Right, so now we're on to preparing our vegetables. Obviously, I've washed my hands with soapy water and lots of soap and getting right in there before I've even started. So make sure you wash your hands, not only as you start, but as you go along. Peeling a potato. Hold it in your hand like that is the best way. Get your peeler and just push down gently and bring it towards you like that. Take your time, there's no rush. Go all the way along till you finish the whole potato. When you get to the ends, you can just do little short, sharp little strokes like that to get those off. So peel your potatoes like that, okay? The courgette, cut the end off, both ends off, get rid of those, and then you can cut it in half that way if you want to. Always use our bridge method because it keeps our fingers away from the sharp blade. A sharp knife is actually safer to use than a blunt knife. More accidents happen with a blunt knife. With a sharp knife, you're being far more careful, but also the knife is doing the work that it should be. You're not having to put unnecessary pressure on. So with the bridge method, our fingers and thumb well out of the way, we're going to cut down the middle of our courgette like that. And any vegetable, whenever you're cutting, try and put the flat side down on the board as much as possible, because that way it stops it slipping. And once again, the bridge method all the way through. We don't want it too big and chunky. I mean, you can if you want to, but as we're going to blend it, we've got to give it the best possible chance of cooking down quickly. And then all the way through, and I'm just going to do bits about that size, okay? Between 1 and 2 centimetre chunks. When it comes to the carrots, cut the ends off, put that in your food waste bin, and then same as the potatoes, peel it down like that, and same as the courgette, bridge method, down through the middle. I hope you're following this. I've never done this sort of thing before on camera. And then down the middle again, and again. And then you can chop very carefully, keeping your fingers well out of the way, into small pieces again. So I'll finish that in a minute. The carrot, what else have we got? All of these vegetables obviously need washing before you do anything as well. Cut the ends off. As I said to you, use the leaves. We will be chopping those up as well. And when you get to the celery, you're going to once again, same as you did for the carrot and the courgette, nice long thin strips, cut them in half, and then very slowly and carefully, keeping your fingers out of the way, cut that through to small pieces, including the leaves. If you're using a tin of tomatoes, obviously you're just going to tip the tin in, but if you're using whole tomatoes, cut the end off, then it's nice and flat. This end's fine, you can use that. I've just got rid of the stem end. And once again, bridge method, cutting that down. Tomatoes are a bit slippery, so you might need an adult to help you with those. Cut that down, and then really carefully cut it into pieces. Or if you prefer, you can put each of those slices flat on the board, do the bridge method, and then just very carefully cut through like that. Last one is the leek. I haven't washed mine yet, but basically you're going to cut the end off. I'm going to cut. They're a bit tough, so get an adult to help you with that. Cut down like that. Bridge method again, all the way through. And this leek looks quite clean, but I'm still going to rinse it through. Rinse it that way so the water goes down and gets out to open up these little, they're like little pockets, aren't they? Rinse through and you're ready to go. I'm going to finish my veg prep and I'll come back in a minute and show you what's next. Okay, so all of the vegetables are now sizzling away on a low heat. I think I said simmer before. We can't simmer anything yet because there's no liquid in it, but you know what I mean. Just stir it around. Everything gets stirred around. You might be able to hear that sizzle, actually, if you listen really carefully. See if you can hear it. Can you hear that? That's exactly what we want to happen. That means that they're starting to get a bit soft. They're starting to mix together nicely. In a minute, we'll be adding our stock, which I've already made up. And if you wanted to add any extra things, like you could add, and I think I might add some of these, I'm in the cookery room at school, And we've got some red lentils here, so they're really good for thickening as well. They just come in a packet like that, and they're dried, and you can put them in and they add some nice flavour. Or you could add some little bits of, you could add some rice or some pasta if you wanted to thicken it up. It doesn't matter. You can't make mistakes with soup, you just make it up as you go along really. And it never tastes the same every time because you're adding different vegetables and things every time. So after about 5 minutes, just simply add your stock or your water if you're not using stock. And if you don't think it's quite covered, you can just add a little bit more. And then we're going to increase the heat because we want it to come to the boil. I'm going to add just some tap water now, just to cover those vegetables up. You can, if you want, also obviously add chicken or whatever you like, if you want some meat in there, but to be honest, I don't think it needs it. There's so much lovely flavour going in there. This is so healthy for you. I even managed to find some garlic, so I've put a garlic clove just chopped up there. And for those of you who are not sure, that's what a garlic bulb looks like, and inside there are lots of garlic cloves that you peel and you can chop up. So I'm going to let that come to the boil now. When it comes to the boil, I'm going to turn it straight back down to low. I'm going to put the lid on it and leave it alone for about 15 minutes or until I think the vegetables look really soft. If it needs longer, that's fine. 20 minutes, 25 minutes. You can't do anything wrong with this soup recipe. It's just starting to come to the boil. Can you hear it? Bubbles are starting to come to the surface. Right, so the final step of this, it's been cooking for about 15-20 minutes on a low heat with the lid on. I'm going to blend it now. It'll be a bit noisy, I hope I don't splash myself. Be very careful when you're doing this at home. Just keep blending it through. Now obviously you don't have to have it too thick if you don't want it. You can always add more liquid, or if you want it thicker you can add some more mashed potato or keep reducing it on the stove top so that it becomes thicker. But I like it, that looks like a pretty good texture to me. So the last thing to do is ladle very carefully this lovely soup into a bowl and enjoy it. If you want to add cream or a little bit of milk to make it even thicker, I'll see if I can help you to see it. There we are. Oh, it's lots of steam on top. Look at that. It looks amazing. I think the staff who are in school today are going to enjoy having some vegetable soup for their lunch. So give it a try. Thank you so much for all of the likes and the views that you've already put on yesterday's YouTube video. I hope you like this one as well, and send me a picture of you making or cooking the soup. I'd love to see it. If you send it to, Mrs. McCardle and Mrs. Drew are going to kill me for this, but send me a picture on adminoffice@ehps.hants.sch.uk. I'd love to see what you've done, and maybe we'll do another cooking video next week. We'll see. Have a lovely time. Keep looking after each other, keep being safe, keep to your routines, and have a lovely day. Bye.